Welcome back. My next guest is Dr. John Saran. He is a physician with Edward Medical Group and MDVIP. Welcome, Dr. Saran.
Hello, Nikki.
I'm so glad to have you here today. Tell me a little bit about Dr. Saran.
Well, I think, first of all, it's good to be back. I think the last time I was here a few years back, we were talking about that Southwest baby delivery. Yes. We had a great experience with that. But here today to talk about MDVIP. Well, I was born in Chicago. I was the oldest of 8. I think what inspired me back then, my grandfather was a pharmacist. And back then in the 1950s, when you had a sore throat or a backache or something, you rarely went to the doctor unless you were deathly ill. But you'd go to the local pharmacist like my grandfather, and he'd mix up some concoction. And I think growing up as a little child, it inspired me to go on to want to help people and be in that field of medicine. And from then on, I went to Fenwick High School, Northwestern University, Loyola Medical School, came out in 1979. And that's me. So I'm practicing here in Edward and living in Naperville. I have a beautiful wife who we're married now 40 years this year.
Congratulations.
She is in the business of keeping people healthy as well through the Juice Plus company. My son is a lawyer in downtown Chicago, and my daughter is an artist in Brooklyn.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, tell me a little bit about MDVIP.
Well, I'm part of Edward Medical Group. They're a multi-specialty group affiliated with Edward Hospital, of course. But a few years ago, I decided to downsize my busy internal successful medical practice, general medicine, and be a smaller, personalized practice focused really on wellness and prevention. And we're able to do that through MDVIP, which is a national company based out in Florida. And so they service many different doctors and states. And they're able to, with Edward Hospital and myself, it's really the perfect love triangle to practice in this smaller group setting.
So what would the experience be for someone who might not be familiar with, because we all remember the old, the doctors way back when they would actually come in and spend time with you. And it sounds like that's what MDVIP does.
Well, being that we have a smaller practice, we can spend more time with patients. And that's really what attracted me. So instead of, say, the 15 minutes or less you get with the average physician, and many physicians, they work very hard, but in a system such that it's sometimes difficult to spend that extra time, we have half-hour visits instead of 15 minutes. We base our whole care around an annual physical, wellness physical, which is a 2-step process, maybe hour and a half to 2 hours of time. And then we can do all sorts of fancy things that I like to talk about as well.
Great. Well, why don't you share some of the interesting programs and things that you offer?
Well, again, with a smaller practice, we can do fun things. We did a walk with the doc in one of the local forest preserves here over the summer, shop with the doc at one of the local stores where we can do reading labels, maybe making some healthier choices. We've had healthy cooking classes at our home. We do monthly lectures. In fact, coming up February 14th at Edward, we have a lecture on lipids and cardiac management. And so that people who are interested can call the office as well. And it gives me time to do things like this, talk with you, Nikki, on TV, and be with the Healthcare Committee and the Naperville Chamber. We're very active with the Chamber as well.
Yes, and we so appreciate your support there. Tell me, who would an ideal patient be for you?
Well, we accept basically 16 years and up. Okay. But really like to focus on that middle-aged adult who maybe has a few medical problems, or maybe they're just wondering, well, we're looking at the parents and maybe don't want to maybe get some of the things they have. And they can work with me and partner with me on risk management and wellness and prevention. Wonderful.
So tell me a little bit. We know that it's the new year and everybody is thinking about their New Year's resolutions. We'd like to hear it from you. What's the straight scoop on New Year's resolutions? What advice would you give people?
Well, it is January, isn't it? 2015. Right. We got a great year ahead with a lot of optimism. I think one of the problems, we all make resolutions, myself included, but I think one of the problems is maybe we just either make too many resolutions or make them unrealistic. I like what's called just one simple change. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, look, do you like what you see? And really make that decision to move forward to change your life. But do it one simple step at a time. Maybe drink more water. That could be your resolution. Maybe take a walk. Maybe just eat a little bit more of a plant-based diet. Maybe just sleep 1 hour a day. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Right,
Add 1 hour of sleep. But I think if you try to tackle too much, it's hard. But just make that one simple change. That's easy to do. You don't have to revolutionize everything you're doing. One simple change, move on, and make things go a little bit at a time. And as your doctor, then, I'd like to be there to be your coach, to guide you, to encourage you, motivate you along the way, and coordinate your care with all your other practitioners.
That's wonderful. Well, I know that when people are coming into you and saying, Dr. Saran, I know I have to lose weight, or I know I have to get in shape, what do you see as a common obstacle to that?
Well, I'm traditional practice, so I treat acute and chronic illnesses, but I really love the wellness and prevention thing. And I use all the tools. I was trained as a traditional doctor, but I also consider myself an integrative physician. So we teach nutrition, we teach exercise. We got a great fitness center, Edward Health and Fitness Center, right next door, as I'm right on the Edward campus, main campus in Washington. But then we can also think outside the box, and I don't waste any time involving chiropractic or acupuncture or some of these alternative medical therapies, as well as traditional therapies, and integrate everything into a person's care.
What do you think prevents people from really being their best, from really being healthy? Because I know what you preach, and that's so important to you, to see your patients be as healthy as they can be. What do you think prevents them from that?
Well, it's really hard, isn't it? I mean, we're all human,
right,
and we're all tempted. But I think it's just back to what I said, make that one easy solution. Educate yourself. We give monthly education lectures. There's always something in the newspaper, in the magazines, on TV, an interview such as this, talking about health and wellness. Get out there, educate yourself, and try to make that one simple change to move on.
Wonderful. So what's coming up in the near future that we can come learn from you?
Okay. Well, we have monthly lectures all the time.
Great.
And we sometimes invite national speakers like Dr. Katz and Dr. Sears to come in and speak. So someone would be in touch with my office to find out when those lectures are going to be later in the year.
So the contact information that they get at the end of our program, they can call you and find out more.
Right. And the perfect way, because my program is a special program, is to call and get what's called a meet and greet. So someone can call the office, arrange for a 15-minute so-called meet and greet, no obligation, no charge, to see if this program works for them.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for educating our audience on how they can be healthier, and I look forward to your programs.
Oh, great, Nikki. Thanks. Great being here.
Thank you, and we will be right back.